Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Tiabu and I am here for Retro Monday OVAdrive. We're gonna watch the second part of Yokohama Shopping Log, or the second part, Quiet Country Cafe, which was released a couple of years later by a completely different studio, which, as far as I can tell, became Aniplex and is no longer Ajiado. So we'll see if that leads to any significant stylistic changes in the material and whether it's any good. I know that these after things, these sequels, separate story things, have a lower overall rating on the sites that I've seen than the original 2 episodes. We'll see whether we can determine anything about the reasons why that might be, and whether we agree with that sentiment, whether we feel like these are worse or the same or better or just different in some way, or more accessible or less accessible or weird or bad or whatever the fuck they are. So I don't really know. Let's give it a watch and maybe we'll find out. I'm looking forward to 30 minutes of quiet, contemplative, atmospheric, world-building-y stuff. And if that gets nailed, that'll be great. I'll be happy. If the backgrounds and the motion of weather and nature and things doesn't end up being to par, I could see this ending up being really boring, because the first episodes were absolutely enthralling, mostly because of the awesome natural backgrounds and the gorgeous scenery and the really, really careful, like, tone and space setting and flow of time that was going on in the first couple. So if we can't match that, we better make up for it in some other way. And if we can match that, that'll be great. Let's watch it and find out whether we can match the originals in any way, shape, or form. Beep beep timer. Not even going to do a spiel. Okay, sound is on. Okay, there's a cool little twirl. Nice shadows. Oh, that was sick. Oh, and we're with this girl. Is this the same girl? clear mirror to the other shot of that. The reflection in those glasses was great. A definite and massive difference in the art style. Huge difference. But it's still nice. I was half expecting to see it and immediately just stop, look at you guys, and go, I'm sorry, everybody, I want to remember the original. But no, this is fine. Nice. That's very well done. So we tell a story of a journey, and where are we going to? Yeah, whoever is running this has a lot of emphasis on these parallax background setups. That's really good. Like that was really well done. But that's like number 4 that we've seen in a couple minutes. Very flat compared to what we had before. Very flat. Nice. Nice. Cute little cut. Music's great. At this point, the backgrounds are not making it up. I don't feel like I'm here. Cool. Good night. Whoa. What? No groping. No, I'm kidding. It's obviously not, but... Oh, wow. That's cool. I like that. I like that time shift. That's great. What? The heck is that? What the heck is that? What? What is that? It's in the fucking stratosphere. What? Somebody explain yourself. What was that? That felt utterly disconnected. You know what we haven't seen? We haven't seen even one indication of the lost past. Oh, there's the weather vane. Clear skies. Wood carving? Yeah, she's carving a fish. Good morning, Alpha. Nice. Wash your fucking hands! That's great looking. All the little beans moving. Oh, the way that bubbles up. That's great. Lots of good little things. Okay, good. Hey. Oh, where's the mouthpiece? Okay. Oh. Okay, there's an indication. At least something old. That's the roof of a building. Lights. There we go. Okay. Click. That piece of wood needs to be replaced, man. You can't just paint over that. That'll be dry rot. Well, that's cute. Once that sort of fungal rot has gotten into a piece of wood, you can't just paint over it. It'll just lock it in. Clouds. Darkness. The Demon Lord comes. Oh, it's a little piece of tea. Diegetic music. Oji-san. You might want to go inside, bro. Weza attack. So they're flying above it. 30 feet per second. It's not bad. Uh-huh. No. Please don't fall. Why? You just walk around it, you dingus. Friggin' dingus. That's a good moment. Is she okay? Yeah, just trying to hold it down. That window is fucked. Oh, that looks great. Not as good as the other one, but it still looks great. Darkness. Ooh, great color palette shift. I love these watercolor cloud backgrounds as well. They're really nice. Jisan? Well. Tea and celery? Weird. Cool. That's gotta be hard to draw. That's gotta be so hard to draw. A lonely fairy? Geez, it's pretty windy out here. So, nah. Okay. Oh, is that mid-roll? Okay. Yeah, that's mid-roll. Okay. He drove all the way out here to try to help her. Oh boy. It's getting schwindy. Cool reflection use. Oh, thanks, bud. Yeah, board you up in here. Just for your own safety. Got her radio, got a little suitcase, got a little bag. Is that an instrument in there, I think? Probably. And a light that doesn't flicker. Oh, all the registration date stuff is just gone. It doesn't matter anymore. No, don't stand on swivel chairs. Don't ever stand on swivel chairs. It's so easy to get dead. It's so easy to hurt yourself. Do not do it. I didn't like that fade. That feeling of isolation during a big storm, yeah. Yeah, I understand that. But that's the first feeling that we've nailed in this episode so far, I think. Except, I guess, straining to get on top of the stool and falling. Clear skies? Oh, that was great. Some solid bits of, like, body movement and character movement. Not quite character acting. It is technically character acting, but that's not what I would think of it as. Oh. Clear-ish skies. Still windy as fuck. Goodbye. Do you ever feel... I have a feeling since we've done all of this and we haven't seen it in a while that it is not, and that is not sitting there normal. I think it's going to be worse than that. I think it hurricaned away. I think it full Dorothy'd. Right, and you have to wait for Oji-san. Looking all frazzled. Hey. How do I get out of here? The storm leaves. I wonder if these are cut out of the paper. They look like they might be. The nation of Ibaragi. Oh, she's gonna walk all the way. Gosh, couldn't she get a ride from Oji-san? Oh, she's gonna see destruction along the way too, and then her house is gone. We're setting it up. It's fucking Dorothy'd. Wizard of Ozified. Oh, all these things we've seen blowing in the wind. Blown over. No! Oh, I don't like this scene. Because of the way it was moving. No, low weather rain. Do we see it? Or do we just get to infer? Oh. There we go. That's no fixer-upper. Not anymore. Tears? Huh. Interesting. Oh, no. I see. What do you really need? Oh, Alpha. Uh-huh. Sure. That's fucked. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. This is a different day. Total panic. Mm. 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 Not a first for you, though. So you won't keep the cafe running. Yes, sir. Reopen the cafe. Ah, there we go. Yep. Cool. Mm. That's Takahiro. Oh, not scootering. Character that we've never established, really. Okay. Letter from Alpha. Letter to Alpha. Which won't get there because she doesn't have a house anymore. That's the end? No, there are 5 minutes left. There's no way. I'll just let it go. It's gotta be more stuff. 5 minutes of credits. Ooh. the same, or like a different version of the same song? I don't know. No, it isn't. Okay, still got a few minutes left. 2 minutes. Takahiro? Maki. Who are you? It's a cute design. Almost looks like a character design from What's-His-Face, the guy who did Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei. Dregs. Hecky, hecky! Ah, she's great. She's great. I love her. Oh my god, her whole body language is just awesome. Down the winding path of life. Okay. To be continued. Boom. So that's the first episode of Quiet Country Cafe. I thought it was pretty good. That said, I thought the first 2 episodes of Yokohama Shopping Log were really good. Like, miles good. Amazing good. This wasn't quite that. There are some things that are missing comparatively. The sense of flow, not there. That said, though, if the average show is here, then the first 2 episodes of Yokohama Shopping Log are out of the frame. and this one is just barely within the frame. And if you zoom in on the difference between OG Yokohama Shopping Log, then this one's just like here, right? And then all the other shows are down out of the frame down here. Does this make sense to you? Like, the difference between most shows and this is much larger than the difference between this and the first 2 episodes of Yokohama Shopping Log. But there's still like a gradation. Does that make sense? Does that distinguish what I'm trying to get down? This better than most things. First 2 episodes better than this. By a good bit, but not as much as by the amount that this is better than everything else. Yes? Yes. Because this is good. This has got some great backgrounds, some great scenery, some great atmospheric sequences, really good music that I think the animation doesn't equal, and the flow and the pacing doesn't equal the music that's brought in, which is one of my problems with it. And just less of a sense of the well, I wrote down contrast/differences. And what I really meant by that wasn't necessarily contrast, but like throughout episode 2 of Yokohama Shopping Log, we're cutting from inside to outside, inside to outside, inside to outside. And we're showing wind and weather and rain and the spinning weather vane and things and shuttering windows, and we're showing that, and then we're cutting to peace inside, and we're creating this really potent sense of contrast by doing that. And that's not present here. Does it need to be? No, but it was like the backbone of the show. Likewise, and this is a subjective thing, it's not something where I can point to an exact moment or an exact scene and be like, the way it was done in the first version is way better than the way it was done in the second version. Although I can in some circumstances. I could. But the feeling of enthralling atmosphere, of being absolutely sucked into another world, didn't happen to me in this episode. And again, that's subjective. That's my response to the media, not the inherent qualities of the media. But I think I can judge my mental state effectively and say that in my current mental state, I am capable of being sucked in by a deeply atmospheric piece. I'm ready for that this morning. I was down for it. And I just didn't feel it happening. In a couple of little moments, I kind of got sucked in. But in a few others, I didn't. That said, character animation, solid. Background animation, solid. Little bits of cute, fun things like using the reflections to great effect, or showing the reflection as they pass by through the water, or little moments, particularly the character movements like turning over in bed, or the legs lift up and then they flip down and then the character flips up from bed, right? Or the way that the little girl at the end turns around and like sort of like does a little leg thing and then turns around and leans forward. All of those things read to me as very real. Or, probably most obviously, the moment where Alpha gets up on the stool and is straining across the counter to reach the radio, and we can see that it's a silly moment to do that, but of course, we've all probably been there, where you're sitting down and you're like, I just gotta get that thing, I just gotta reach over here. And you could save yourself a whole lot of time and effort and danger by just standing up, walking 2 feet over, and grabbing the thing, right? But of course you won't do it because reasons. It's like going and grabbing every single bag of groceries from the car. Of course you won't. Of course you'll do it that way. Why make multiple trips? Those things are relatable and powerful. They bring us into almost into Alpha's body, honestly. They create that empathetic effect where we feel ourselves in the circumstance and we can distinguish it. All of those things are good. Again, this show is really good. This episode is really solid. It's just like if I had watched these episodes or this episode first, I would be blown away by it. And then I would go to the first 2 episodes of Yokohama Shopping Log and have my mind exploded. Because I've gone and watched the first 2, now these feel less cool. This feels way less interesting because I've seen something better. It's unfortunate. It's like you could have the most delicious cup of coffee in the world, to bring it to coffee, right? You have the most delicious cup of coffee in the world, but if you eat like a sugary sweet right before you drink it, you won't taste the natural sweetness of the coffee, right? Right? It taints the well. It poisons the well a little bit. with quality, which is so unfortunate because this is still really good. It's got a different and unique background style. All the backgrounds in this episode look distinct and different from the first episode. I think you can look at any frame of this episode and determine that it is from this episode as opposed to the other. And clearly, the people making this have respect for and knowledge of the first sequence. Are any of the staff the same? I saw that the studios were different. Let me just check and make sure that the staff aren't the same. No, they're different directors, different stuff. Even the theme song composition is different. It's no longer by Gontiti. Just the voice actors. The voice actresses are the same. Interesting. But you get little moments like this splash across that's very much reminiscent of the splash across that we saw before, but clearly in a completely different artistic style. I mean, you could look at the way that the ripples go. This is completely different, but also really good. It's really, really nice in terms of the different colors of water and the way that the reflection is built and then falls apart in there. It's a different view of the same idea. Or the reflection in the glasses, or the reflection in the other glasses. And then the parallax sequences like these, clearly there's somebody on staff who's really, really dedicated to their parallaxing, right? We get it throughout this sequence, through the trees. These are all parallax. They're all moving in separate layers to create the effect of three-dimensionality. And it's cool. It's cool. It's clearly flat frames. We can see it. You can look at it and see that it is that. But it's really well done for being that. Like, even in that little moment... Wait, why VLC, please? Here, there's a little shift to it, right? Everything shifts over as she goes by and changes. And then this is great, multi-layered, bam, bam, bam. Layer here, layers back there, layers, layers, layers. All these layers that are hidden that create this flow downward through the tree line. That's awesome. These are lovely. As technical work. I don't love the opening fading to credits, fading back. I don't like this kind of an opening very much. I think it breaks up the flow. And to be fair, breaking up the flow is a part of what what Yokohama Shopping Log has done before, right? Switching between the weather vane and inside. That's breaking up the flow of a sequence to create the contrast. But here, you're breaking up flow between what's happening and nothingness, right? You're going, invest yourself in our story. Take yourself out of the story and recognize that these are the people who worked on it. Invest yourself in the story. Take yourself out of the story and recognize that these are the people who worked on it. It fucks with my flow. Like, I don't think it's good. I don't think it's a good choice. And here we go, perfect, beautiful countryside. I was worried at this point that we wouldn't show anything of the post-apocalypticness of this setting, because I think that's really crucial for the feeling of this setting and the deep levels of contrast and the deep history that's built into it. And we don't see any of it here. It's cute, but this could be two characters in the modern-day Japan sitting around hanging out, and maybe that's what they're going for, is that it'll be like a surprise of some kind when we get there. I don't know why she reaches out and touches her chest. I think she's touching her heart, but it is a little bit of a weird sequence. I love this color shift. It's very cool. I don't understand this. I assume that it's the weather bird plane thing going over. I don't know. And I thought that this shot, I think it is this shot right here, was very disorienting. It might be a different one, but I found it very disorienting in the way that it moved. Okay, this kind of stuff, right? Like, the subtle movement of waking up, the turning over, then the legs go up, whoop, and then she flips up. That's great. That's like, solid character animation, and there's a bunch of great solid character animation throughout. Also, the general, like, storytelling. She gets up, she goes to the bathroom, she comes out of the bathroom, gets her stuff ready, puts on the little hairband, and then she's ready to work. She's doing the coffee and making the coffee, and the coffee looks really good. The way that the beans are moving is really intricate, and the way that this all moves is really intricate. And there are lots of these little bits of intricacies woven throughout the thing that I think elevate it to a really high level. But not as high a level as the first two episodes. Not even close. Not even within a mile. Not even within the ballpark. Likewise, I don't think that showing that there are cranes under the water and then lights under the water and, like, things are built over, I don't think this has the same impact as the way that we showed it in the first couple episodes. Maybe because I'm expecting it. Maybe this is all, this is all subjective, and that's fair. But I don't think it has as much impact. I don't think it works as well. I don't think it raises the same level of questions. I don't think it makes us, it's not the same as looking out over that landscape and seeing the buildings underwater and seeing the city underwater. That was impactful. That was powerful. Even before we saw the starlight lightscape that as all the lights turn on, even before that. So we get this big shot of the cafe, which should set us up and establish that it is falling apart and that it will fall apart. Yeah, if you have any wood that looks like this around your house, you need to check it. I would recommend taking a screwdriver and just poking it. And if the screwdriver goes into the wood, you have a problem. You have a serious problem. It's generally dry rot. And that's usually a fungal type infection that gets into the wood. If any bit of the paint, the reason that paint is waterproof is for this. If any of the paint gets broken or busted off or anything, and a little bit of water gets into a piece of non-treated lumber, it will rot from the inside out. And that fungus will consume all of it, essentially, and turn it into not very stable wood. Keep your wood painted and primed, and repaint it when you can. Paint might be expensive in Alpha's world, but it's not that expensive in our world. Paint your shit. It's important. And if you find that it's rotted, don't paint over it. It won't work. It'll just keep rotting. Also, if you ever get any work done on your house, make sure, like outdoor building or anything, like a patio or anything like that, make sure that every piece of lumber that they're putting in as they're putting it in is painted on ends and all the way through. It's really common practice with today's like cut corner contractors for them to build outdoor furniture or outdoor stuff and then paint it after the fact. That is unacceptable, and that thing will fall apart, and it's actually a safety hazard. We've got a porch patio that they did a replacement on, a couple of beams of replacement. Fucking unseasoned, untreated pine. They slapped it on there and then painted it afterward. Idiots. And it's already starting to rot, and it's just crazy that they like did that as part of a job and felt like that was okay to walk away from. Anyway, just a weird aside as somebody who's done work in furniture and worked in outdoor stuff. Like, don't fuck around with that. Get everything sealed. It's really important. So we talk about the store being down, and then the clouds roll in. Now, that's cool. I like the way the clouds look. I think they look really good. They're obviously watercolor gray over, like, thick paper. I don't know if they've cut out the paper to create the through lines for the blue, or they might have painted this on cells, but it looks like it's actually on a type of paper. It actually looks like it's on paper because of the variations, the gradations in color. I don't know if you can do that on cell. I could be wrong. It could be totally possible, but that like throughness, it looks like watercolor on thick watercolor paper. And I think it's gorgeous. I think it's really, really pretty. This is very fun and very funny. And here we go. So this scene is a scene that we've literally seen before, right? Alpha is inside doing things. Outside is Weather doing things. And this isn't half as interesting as the first time we've seen this, even though we're trying to accomplish the same task. Cut outside, show the weather, cut inside, show Alpha. It doesn't work. It doesn't work the same way to me. Now, these are cute, internal, isolated moments, reading a book, reading The Lonely Fairy, and eating some celery and tea. Great. This is all glorious, but it doesn't have the same feeling, or anything like it, or a different feeling of the same degree. So, come with us to the place. Come with me to the place. I like these little inserts. They're cool. And we drive. And I really like these scenes and pieces of scenery and locations that we've already seen that are in a completely different color scheme because of the nature and the weather. That's really cool. The reflection on the door is nice. Body language is great inside here. These sleepy moments are good. There's this deep feeling of isolation in the middle of a storm, and this need to sleep it through. That's really good. I also liked this pan over where we get the bag crosses over her and we clearly allow time to pass. And I love how frazzled she is when she finally wakes up. It's really good. So we move into it. She walks, and she discovers the death of her cafe. And we turn to Oji-san's arrival, and we find her playing her instrument, sadly, having already cried, as the one thing that ties her down is lost. The only reason that she's here is for this cafe because she was told to watch it, right? And so she, a few days later, we can assume, sets up again, but she's already made a decision. Alpha is going to go on a journey, leave her scooter behind, and find a reason to see things, to be herself. We have this cute moment that falls flat to me because we don't really know this character or their relationship. We understand that he's like the grandson of the Oji-san, yada yada, that's all good, but it doesn't really land for me, I don't think. It just feels like it falls flat a little bit. That's okay, but, it does. We get this nice exit song, and a couple minutes of a really, really cute character. She looks like a character from, it's that show that I didn't end up watching all of. Kakushi Goto is what I was thinking of. She looks like a character from that. She looks like a character from Koji Kumeta, the author of Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei, and specifically like a character from that show. Her movement is fantastic. This moment where she does this thing where she turns around. She does this like lean back and turn around, leading into a little leg flip, bip, pap. So good. Such little simple things, and this little goofy grin. I like her character design and her whole idea a whole lot. And so Alpha walks off into her future. Curious. I'll watch the second one. It won't be today because it's already been 50 minutes and I've got a time constraint. But I will watch the second one. And I think it'll be good. I think it'll be enjoyable. We could introduce new things now that we leave the location. There's a lot more that can happen. But overall, I think if and I'm not saying that it necessarily is, but if YKK 1 and 2 are about a 10 to me, then this is about an 8 to me. It's a couple notches down, still in the very highest tier, still way above the average, but nowhere near the atmosphere and power and potency of the first 2 episodes. Nowhere near it. I think if I give it a week and let these muddle it together in my brain, then when I watch the next episode of Quiet Country Cafe, I'll feel better about it because my standards will have been slightly lowered. That's not fair, but it is true. Neat. This is a cool extension of a thing. Like many extensions of a thing, it doesn't equal the thing. It's like, it's more of the thing, but it's not really more of the thing. Like so many OVAs that are out there that are linked to a previously written piece of media, it doesn't feel quite the same. And that's okay. It's a different studio with different artistic vision trying to accomplish a thing. And I can't hold it against them that they didn't create a masterpiece, right? Because I don't think this is a masterpiece. I do think it's great. That's the difference that we're talking about. Like off the charts to on the charts at the top of the chart is a huge difference, but it's not that big a difference. So I don't mean to criticize this at all. Just it doesn't equal what we've already seen, and that's unfortunate. Because, I was hoping for another masterpiece. Who wouldn't be? Who doesn't like good things? Okay. That's going to be a wrap for me. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm going to stay away from spiels for the day, so I will just see you next week for more Quiet Country Cafe. Peace.